Welcome, Leo and Leo cross watchers, to your mini weekly love reading. So we're going to get, a card for you, a card for them. So we have the Two of Swords, trying to get that without a glare. Sorry, we have the Two of Swords here for you. So I do want to apologize, guys. I have some like waves, white noise kind of in the background. My kids are here and they're being children, so they're making a bit of noise and it keeps pulling me out of the read. So I just will have a little bit of white noise in the background so I don't kind of get distracted. So we have the Knight of Pentacles for your person reversed. There's my hair. Sorry about that. That's kind of gross. Sorry, Leo. And the situation between Leo and their person. Okay, Leo. So what I'm kind of seeing here is it feels not quite like a missed opportunity sort of thing, but it just feels like neither of you is saying anything, neither of you is doing anything. But I feel like it's like you both feel this connection. You know what, Leo? You may both feel this connection, but it's kind of like this person is walking away, and because they're walking away in the way that they are, you know what I mean? It's like maybe they're doing it with kind of a shizzy attitude. And I feel like you're kind of like, well, if you're going to walk, then walk, right? And what's interesting here is that this Ace of Wands kind of came out sideways, right? Which actually kind of feels like whatever ends up happening here, I feel to a certain extent, it's like, I almost want to say that you haven't made the decision yet. However, I actually feel like you have. It's almost like you kind of don't want to look at the full like scope of it or the full reality of it, and not because, you're trying to kid yourself into thinking that this should continue. It actually feels more that it's like you kind of don't want to look at the fact that this person treated you the way that you did. And from your perspective, this isn't the message from the cards, this is what I'm seeing you seeing. It's like you don't want to look at the fact that you allowed them to treat you that way. You know what I mean? It almost feels like you kind of, from your perspective, I'm not saying this, the cards aren't saying this, it's like you seem to look at it like you know that you failed yourself. Sorry, I just realized I don't have the lights on either. I'm sorry, Leo. I really do apologize that I seem like a little bit all over the place. I feel like this person may have been somebody that was kind of hard to pin down. It's almost like every time you might have asked them, oh, hey, let's do this, or hey, let's get together for that. I feel like this is the kind of person that'd be like, they would give you an answer without actually giving you an answer. You know what I mean? It's one of those people that it's like you might go up to this person and be like, hey, do you want to meet at, 5 o'clock on Sunday? And they'd be like, they'd give you a 10-minute answer that actually didn't tell you yes or no. You know what I mean? And I feel like, listen, Leo, I understand that you feel like you failed yourself, but there's a message here that I'm going to ask you a question instead of telling you something. Is it possible that the reason that this situation went for the period that it did, because actually you weren't super focused on this person? I feel like to a certain extent that it's kind of like you may be feeling like, oh, this person treated me really poorly and I'm not happy about this. But Leo, I feel like the reason that maybe you didn't, I want to say like, quote unquote, catch on at first isn't actually because you didn't catch on. I kind of feel like you just didn't care that much. You know what I mean? And it's like now that this person has treated you poorly, it's almost kind of like, not that you're taking responsibility for it, but I feel like you're looking at the situation like, well, what did I do wrong? What can I improve on, right? not that you've done something to make this person dislike you or whatever, but it's like you don't want to allow this situation to pass you by without pulling the lesson that you can from it. Excuse me, Leo. And actually, what I'm kind of seeing here, I almost want to say, like, I'm going to invite you to consider that maybe you are feeling some type of way about a relationship and a connection that I feel to a certain extent you never really wanted in the first place. And it's like, I feel to a certain extent that even with that, it almost feels like then that frustrates you, right? And it's not that like, oh, and then that, and then that, and then that. It's not that kind of thing. I just feel to a certain extent, Leo, that because of whatever happened here, it's almost like you have some sort of predetermined, not that you actually sat down and decided this, right? But it's like you're going to feel how you're going to feel for as long as you're going to bloody well feel it, right? And I feel that, how many times can one person say feel, right? Anyway, I actually am seeing that as this person walks away, you are not that upset about it. And it's almost like you're upset with yourself for having let them have access to you for so long. So I think we're going to, can we get a clarifier for this Knight of Pentacles? What was going on with them that Leo needs to know? That was what I was about to say. So we have the Knight of Swords with the Empress. And then we have the Two of Wands. I'm just realizing you can't really see that. So we have the Two of Wands with the Six of Pentacles, and then the Knight of Swords and the Empress came up, but they were still in the deck. So I feel like, I don't really want to say this. Leo, did this person choose someone else over you? I just kind of feel like they seem to be a little bit like fly by night sort of energy. I feel like there's somebody that it's like, for example, if they called you up, let's say they're a friend, right? They call you up and say, hey, I'm in town. I can't get into my hotel for, such and such a reason, or forgot to book it or whatever. And they're like, hey, can I spend the night? You're like, yeah, okay, no problem. Right? Because you know the person. And then you wake up and they took all your stuff. You know what I mean? It just feels like, what? It feels very out of left field. I feel like to a certain extent, you seem to feel that you should have expected whatever this person has done. But Leo, I actually feel like if you're completely honest with yourself, would anyone have seen this? Would anyone have been able to pick up on this? And I feel like you know that is actually not the case, that nobody would have. And so the silver lining, right? I'm going to say this. I don't know what's going on with the full moon. So this reading is coming out on Friday. On Sunday. But we have the Leo full moon on Monday, February 6th. So I actually feel that there's something going on the full moon. It's like maybe you're going to drop all this, whatever burdens you've been carrying. I mean, it could be that this situation all comes to light over the full moon, but I actually feel like the full moon is when you get sick and tired of feeling this way, and you kind of drop all of this stuff. So this is we have the Empress and the Knight of Swords, so I'm trying to get a decent angle. Leo, I feel like this is how you see yourself and this person. And please don't get too, hung up on the genders that are represented on the cards. Because it's more about like, I feel like you know that the two of you were not well matched. It's almost, it might not be the actual situation, but it's almost the situation where it's like, you may have known that you and this person were not well matched, sort of thing. But I feel like it's like the potency of their attention may have been very, not intoxicating, not that it took you in. It feels a little bit of like, feels like you might have had a little bit of pity for them. And not that you got into a relationship out of pity, but I feel like that seems to be how this person got their foot in the door. It's almost like you tried to be gracious and kind to this person, and then they turned on a dime and walked away. I feel like they might have decided that you were too much work. So you know what they can do? If you're too much, Leo, they can go, accept less, right? I'm catching an attitude, Leo. Sorry. So I think we're gonna pull one more card for this Ace of Wands, this sideways Ace of Wands. Okay, Leo, this is just kind of like a heads up, okay? It looks like this situation has the potential to get you stuck up in your head and put you in kind of a very defensive energy. It's like if you're somebody that normally is pretty outgoing and talkative, that's not going to be the case. If this situation hits you hard, you know what I mean? It just feels like, you know what it feels like? The tower fell and almost all of it has been kind of removed, but there's a couple of small remnants. And I feel like you seem to be wanting to glean whatever lesson you can from this situation. I know I've said this already, but I actually feel, Leo, that you may have gotten everything that you needed to get out of this situation, right? I actually feel that over the full moon, you just get sick and tired of the whole thing. It's almost like you just have this moment where you're like, you know what? F it. So I think we'll pull one quick card for advice, and then I will wrap up the reading. Okay. So we have the Knight of Wands with the Four of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So, I know this person isn't going to come charging back in expecting you to be, welcome them with open arms. If they do, Leo, I feel like what I'm seeing, okay, is that this person might come in and try to put the screws to you. You know what I mean? It's like they might come in and try to use certain things that they know are going to make you mad to get a reaction out of you, but they just want to come back in and make sure they can still get to you. So I actually feel here, Leo, and I'm not telling you what to do. You'd make your own choice anyway. This is just me personally. Like this person, if this is that they're pulling, right? They don't deserve to think that they have access to you. I feel like they wouldn't anyway, but it's like their opinion of you, based off of what they've shown you about who they are as a person, it's like their opinion of you is worthless because they have proven to you in this situation that they have very poor judgment. So that's just my own 2 cents. You can throw that out the window if you like. I feel to a certain extent that it's like when they do come back in and they try to like goad you a little bit and get your, get your blood boiling a little bit, I actually feel like there's going to be some sort of reminder that kind of, it's like, for example, if you're in a cafeteria and they come in and they try to do it there, it's like someone's going to drop their tray, right? It's like there's going to be this like almost jolting, like, whoa, okay. And I feel like then it's almost kind of like you have this moment where you snap back into this energy that that you are when you just drop all of this and you remember that they're just not that important. I'm not trying to be mean to this person, okay? I'm sure that they have their own stuff going on, right? But for this reading, I'm here reading for you. Sorry, crosswatcher, you may not want to hear that. Please flip the roles if that resonates. I just kind of feel like there's something else I'm supposed to pull out, and I would... Okay. I'm going to pull one more card, and then I will close out the read. We have the King of Pentacles. With the Two of Swords again. There we go. We found it. So, I feel with... I'm just trying to make sure you can see the cards there. Somebody's going to be pretty peeved that this whole situation has happened here. I feel like it may have taken this King of Pentacles like a hot minute to catch on to what was happening here. But I feel like this person coming in with their stupid nonsense games, I actually feel like they're not just going to be met with your frustration. You know what I mean? It's like they're going to be catching dirty looks from people all over that place. It's almost like this person would walk over to you to, do whatever BS they want to pull, right? And I feel like this King of Pentacles would like stand up as this person walked over and be like, hey, and it's almost like they wouldn't even say anything. It's just that moment where they stand up. And it's one of those things where it's like this Pentacle person, which again, please don't get too hung up on the gender, right? This Pentacle person will stand up as, I was going to say this Knight of Pentacles person, but as this person walks over, and it's almost like they just stand up and look at them. And I feel, I'm going to be honest with you, some of this Knight of Pentacles here, that's reversed, they might actually be foolish enough to open their mouth. Now, that's not to say that there's going to be, a fight or anything like that. Of course, I would not encouraging that or anything. I'm not seeing that either way. I feel like to a certain extent, the Knight of Pentacles ones that have the nerve to say something, it's like they're going to try to make a joke out of it. And it's like the stoic, glare that is coming off of this King of Pentacles towards the Knight of Pentacles. It's like everything that this person says to get on your nerves or to try to get you to be upset, it's like everything they say falls flat. And I feel like the more they talk, the more they kind of, dig their own, how do you say that? Dig their own hole, kind of, if that makes sense. So I think I'll leave it there. This is a mini read. I'm sorry that I took it that far, but it just felt like more needed to come out. So if this reading resonated, I hope that it was helpful and that it brought you some clarity. If you would like a private reading with me, my email is below in the description box. The singles love reads for February 2022 are coming out on Thursday, and then there is a having a mental block here. Sorry, there's a special Valentine's Day love read coming out next week, so please keep an eye out for that, and we'll see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.